Hi there, this is AniBusiness with your friend Simeon. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about goat versus pig in this video. I don't know, you might have seen a similar video like this on YouTube channel. I might have not watched it, so I don't know how much these people analyze, but here on AniBusiness, I want to talk on these two particular animal, livestock farming. Maybe you are contemplating to choose one, thinking of which one is more profitable or which one is more easy to start with, which one is more cheaper. So that is why I'm making this video for you. My name is Simeon O. James and this is AniBusiness. If you are new on my YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and also turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever time I drop a new video for you. In this video, I might not really be stating differences. I will only tell you facts and explain why the other is cheaper, why the other is expensive, why the other is better, why the other is not. So that is what I'm going to be talking here. I'm not going to be picking it maybe point by point or step by step. I will only tell you few things that you can understand about the two different livestock so that you will know which one to start with. Probably if your money is not big to go for one, you go for the other. When it comes to feeding aspect for both livestock, I could say pig has expensive feed compared to that of goats. Although both of them can eat anything you offer them, all that matter is how it's going to react in their body, their conversion rates. Okay, take for instance, maybe pig do not eat starch, or let me say pig do not need much fiber, and you are giving fiber to pig. You know that the pig is not going to grow fat, have enough meat, have enough weight in no time. But if fiber is something of goats, if you are giving goats different type of fiber, it's going to work well on the goat, simply because fiber is something that goats need to grow big, to have weight, and to do what? To have enough meat in their body. But that doesn't necessarily mean your pig doesn't need fiber. Your pig needs fiber, but not as much as your goat need fiber. Fiber is a food for goat, but fiber is not enough better food for pig. Take for instance, if your pig need enough fat to expand, to grow big, to grow tall, to have weight, and to have enough meat and fat inside them, your goat might not really need that fat. If you are giving the fat to your pig will do well. But if you are giving the fat to the goat might not likely do well. So you have to understand the difference between the two. Both of them eat everything, but it depends on how those things react on them when they convert it into necessary nutrients that their body can absorb. Because goats have everything available within their surrounding, their compound, to eat and convert it to something good, pig really have such things. So you have to buy, mix together, and give it to pig before they can give you results. But when it comes to goats, you only need few things to give them so that they can eat, keep growing, and depending on the grasses that are in their compound to do what? To survive. For instance, if you give hay to goats are going to eat and they are going to make a better use of it when they convert it in their body. But if you give the same hay to pig will eat it but might not eat it much and will not convert it to something better. That doesn't mean the pig doesn't eat it, but it is not good for the pig. Because it is not good for the pig, so you have to look for what you can give to the pig that the pig can easily eat and convert it to something better to grow. But that fact doesn't mean that thing you are trying to avoid, the pig cannot eat it. The pig can eat it, but it's just that the result might not be okay. Now, you trying to figure out which of those ingredients or things you can combine together to make your pig do fine makes their feeding more expensive compared to that of goat, because your goat can eat anything in that compound, and those compound feed that you combine together, those ingredients you combine together, your goat don't necessarily need it. Your goat can eat just wheat brown or rice brown and survive. They can take hay and survive. They can eat grasses and survive and do well. So that makes goats more cheaper to that of pig. Then the cost of raising goats. If you remember in my video, I'm not going to emphasize much on this. I told you in some of my videos that it is the cost of buying feed and transporting the feed that makes farming more expensive, not just the farm itself. Already you have a farm, already you have those animals, but what you are giving them, either it is cheaper or it is expensive. So the difference between the two will now tell you, okay, you are raising all these things at an high cost or at a lower cost. So the same way apply to both. When it comes to goats, you are not buying much feed. When it comes to pig, you are buying much feed. So all these things depend on the feed you are buying, and also depend on how long you are keeping all those animals at your farm. So it is the length of the time they stay with you that will determine the cost of each. If your goat is to stay for 7-8 months before you sell them, it is that little amount of money you are going to use to raise them. If your pig stays 8-7 months before you sell them, it is still the same, that little amount of money you are going to use to raise and sell them. You are not going to spend beyond that. But if your pig or your goat is taking much time to grow to the certain kilo that you want in that few months, and it's taking longer than that, then the feed you are buying is more expensive, and also you are not going beyond your budget for 7 months or 8 months. That makes the business totally costly for you. So the cost of raising each is lower compared to each other. The cost of raising pig is higher compared to the cost of raising goats, although both of them are going to bring the same amount of profit. Take for instance, maybe you spend 30,000 naira in raising goats for 5 months, 6 months or 8 months before you sell it, and you spend 50,000 naira in raising, or 60,000 naira in raising pig for 5 or 7 months before you sell the pig. So if the pig do not bring around that 50 or 100% return for you, it will bring around that 80-70%. The same way goat is going to bring either 150 or 70% return, because it is that same little amount you use to raise the goat. If the goat do fine within that limited time, it is still the same amount the goat is going to return to you. The same way pig, the same amount you spend, the same amount is going to return to you. Why? Because in 8 months that you raise goat to, your goat might be scaling around that 40, 50 or 60 kilo. At that point in time, if you raise your pig to the same stage or the same month, your pig is going to be scaling 70, 80 or 100 kg depending on the kind of breed that you have. The amount they are buying goat per kilo or per price is different. Probably if they are buying pig at 1,500 naira, they might be buying goat at 1,800 naira. So you sell them at 60 kilo and you multiply by 800 or 1,000 naira. If you sell at maybe 100 or 80 kilo and you are multiplying by 1,500 naira, it is still the same amount they are going to return to you, like at different level. So that is how the two works. Then their medication is almost all the same. The same way goats don't get sick oftentimes, the same way pig don't get sick oftentimes. Although most of the sickness goat has is diarrhea. Majority of time, that is what they faces: stooling, diarrhea, etc., etc. We have a lot of diseases, but that's the one they mostly face. So the same way pig face diarrhea at their winning level, they face that, and at some point of rearing them, they might be having little issue that you are going to be taking care of them. It is still the same medicine you are buying to use for your pig that you are going to use for your goat. Probably ivermectin, LA, vitamin, iron. It is still the same thing you are going to use for the goats. So if you call a veterinary doctor to come to your farm and take care of your goat, and you call a veterinary doctor to come to your farm and take care of your pig, it is still the same amount of money you are going to give to the person for coming. For instance, if the person is coming per day and is charging you 3,000 naira, the person will come to your goat farm at the same time and charge you 3,000 naira. also come to your pig farm and charge you 3,000 naira. So there is no difference between the two. The medication cost is almost all the same. Okay, I can't do without talking about attendance too. Yes, although when it comes to goat farming, the way you care for them and pay attention to them is little compared to the way you pay attention to pig. Pig is a little bit more complicated to goat. That is because you keep your pig in their house and you're taking care of them. So you have to be giving them feed, you have to be sweeping their house, you have to be doing this, you have to make sure their water is running, you have to make sure they are in good condition, you have to make sure they are not hot, you have to make sure they are eating, you have to make sure you feed them at the right time, you have to make sure you bath them, you have to make sure you give them medication, you have to make sure you do these all necessary things. So they need more attention compared to goats. But that doesn't really mean your goat doesn't need attention. But your pig need attendance at the farm more than your goats. Your goats, go there if they are healthy, go there, drop their feed, make sure water is available, they will go there and eat. Once they eat, they will sit, they are ruminant animal, they will come ruminate on those food. After that, go back, if they swallow it, eat another food, come back, or go and drink water, return. So they don't have that problem. Although you have to check on them. And when it is time to graze them, you just pack them out. You leave them to graze. That's all. But when it comes to your pig, it still need much care. Sweeping their house, taking care of everything. Make sure their water is running. All those things have to be in place for your pig to be healthy. So that is that about cares and attendance at the farm. Is there a market for both? Yes, there is market for both. There is market for both, but market for pig is on higher side compared to that of goat. For instance, a fellow farmer can ask you, "Oh, Simeon, do you have 20, 50 or 100 piglets? I want to start up a farm and I need 100 piglets or 50 matured adult pig that I want to start up with in my farm." When it comes to goat, only few people will request for that, and that's because a lot of people are into piggery instead of goats. The piggery farm is on higher side compared to that of goat. I can say it is around that ratio, 70% to 30%. People that are into goat farming are not as much as people that are into pig farming. That's why the demand is always on higher side. Then people consume pig more than they consume goats. Yes, I can boldly say that, because if you go to some part of Nigeria, you see that people eat pig, pork meat more than goat meat. Some customers might come and demand, "Oh, do you have 50 adult pig that I want to buy for slaughter?" So you can really see people that will tell you, "Oh, supply me 100 goats. I want to buy and kill for slaughter." So it's not common. Even if they demand for that, they will be keeping them one by one and be killing them on daily basis. And people that buy goats much more are those that cook. And people that cook, the highest number of goats they kill in a day might not exceed 5. That is if they are getting enough customer at their shop. So they might not kill or go beyond 5 goats. Sometimes 1, sometimes 2. And that's all. But if you go to where they kill pig for slaughter, where they slaughter pig, use it to do pepper soup or other stuff, you will see that they kill a lot of it. Of course, I'm not saying there is no market for the two. There is market for the two, but the demand for pig comes in a higher way compared to that of goat. But that doesn't mean both doesn't have market and not profitable. They are profitable. So you should understand that. So how about their structure? Which one of the structure is more costly? If you ask me, the structure for pig is costly compared to the structure for goats. However, we're trying to imitate what other people are doing outside the country, which is making a raised house for goats, make it a little bit expensive too compared to that of pig. When it comes to pig, you can make simple structures too, like a wooden structure, and you are going to get good wood, strong wood to make their houses so that they don't end up eating them up. The same way, you can make a better wooden house for your goats or a bricks house for your goat to survive. But majority of time your goats don't need to stay in a fenced, or let me say a brick house. That's because when it is sunny, the walls emit heat, which is not good for your goats. Your goats need enough breeze, the same way your pig need enough breeze. If you ask me which one of the houses is cheaper, like I'm talking from the beginning, I would say goat house is more cheaper compared to that of pig house. But a lot of times, some of us we spend unnecessary money building structure instead of thinking on the aspect of making money. Because if we spend much of our capital trying to have a luxurious structure at the farm for our livestock, it will take us a length of time, like a long time, to get back the money, which is a very, very big problem. It's a very, very big problem on the business you are about to start, because at the end of the day you might end up getting discouraged. So I always advise people, make a simple structure. If I should tell you the actual truths, an average Nigerian, or let me say generally an average farmer that have a poor structure raising goats or pig makes more money compared to those who have a luxury structure for their livestock. You might really want to argue, but I will tell you the truth. That's just the truth. They are making money because after spending maybe 100,000 making a structure for 50 capacity of goats or 100 capacity of goat, and you are spending around that 300, 500, 1 million for just 50 or 100 capacity of goats. And this man is also doing it and is feeding the goats inside that simple house and is making money. He's selling the goats, he's making money. The same way you are doing yours and you are making money. So it will take you a length of time to cover up the money, but it will take this man short time to cover up the money. It's just that sometimes these people, when they do structure, a simple structure, these average farmers that do simple structure, their major problem is they don't have enough livestock at their farm to sell and make huge amounts of money. But you that have enough money to do such mighty structure, you are putting numbers of goats there. That is just the difference between the two. Or else these people makes money, profitable money, more than you, that you are spending too much money on structure. I'm just telling you the actual truth. When they sell 2 goats, 3 goats, 4 goats, or 1 pig, 2 pig, 3 pig, they make huge amount of money because their structure is not consuming them. What they are using to feed all those animals is not consuming them. But yours, what you put on the ground, you already have a target. Maybe in 2 years, in 3 years, that is when I will cash out the money. So it will take a longer time for you to start making profit in the business, but a shorter time for this one because he doesn't spend much on the structure or on feeding all those animals. So if you are going to ask me now that between the two, which one is cheaper and which one is profitable? Yes, goat is a little bit cheaper compared to pig. Yes, but both are profitable at their different level. On goat on its own, it is cheaper and it's profitable. Coming to pig, it's a little bit expensive, costly, although it is profitable. You will get back the money in return. That's how the two works together. The maintenance are not costly, and taking care of them might demand little bits of a time. So that is just all about the video. If there's something else you want me to know or to talk about when it comes to these two livestock farming, just let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. I am Simeon O. James.